Hello, this is Basil Numerzycki with the Great Basin Prescribed Fire Briefing, Wednesday, January 24th. You can see across the Great Basin quite a few projects, mostly in the southern and western areas. Precipitation-wise, the past 7 days, we've had a couple of weak to moderate storm systems. The areas in the green are a ½ inch to an inch of precipitation. A lot of that was in the form of snow, 5 to 10 inches in the higher elevations, and snow levels are fairly high this week, mostly above 6,000 feet. You can see the normal precipitation on the right-hand side. Look at our snowpack, and there is an area basically from much of Nevada into far northern Utah where we are above normal snowpack, also in the far southeast, but sandwiched in between are a lot of areas that are somewhere between 60 and 80% of snowpack, also up in the north, a little bit below normal, also in the Sierra, quite a bit below normal, only about 50 to 60% of normal. So it's been kind of an odd storm track. You can see the pathway that a lot of the storms took across Oregon, dropping southeastwards through Nevada and into the grazing parts of northern Utah. So that's the snowpack situation. Fuel situation quite moist across all areas. Going to be really tough to light and get going a large burn. Pilot burns might be the most viable option, which is not unusual for this time of year. We do have another storm system approaching from western Nevada and in Oregon. It'll be pushing eastwards. You can see that storm system later today with some light precipitation, maybe locally moderate across parts of Nevada and Idaho. The air quality should be okay with that storm system. Relative humidity on the right, quite high. This is the low humidity of the day, driest. So other than being down by Vegas, most other areas are 50, 60% or higher. Again, really hard to get a good large-scale burn going with humidities that high. Winds light in southern and eastern areas, but picking up in the west with the storm system. Same story in the transport winds. The mixing heights on the right-hand side, best in the west as you are closest to the storm. Now on Thursday, that storm system covers much of the Great Basin. Moving into the eastern Great Basin, across Utah in those areas, you see the ventilation index clearing out quite a bit with this storm system. That's good news. Relative humidity stays high. Winds mostly light to locally moderate. Some stronger transport winds on the ridgetops where we see the areas in the orange across the Wasatch, the Ruby Mountains, higher terrain of southern Idaho. Mixing heights pretty good, as you'd expect in the vicinity of low pressure. On Friday, that storm system departs this Friday afternoon. Another one approaches from the west. Again, high humidity, winds light, except starting to pick up in northwestern Nevada with that storm system. And looking at precipitation the next 3 days, there is the amount, nothing really heavy, just the darker greens indicate about 1/10 to 1/4 inch or 1/4 to 1/2 inch. But otherwise mostly light precipitation. Now on Saturday, the area in dark green that you see here is the next wave, but it's moving into an area of building high pressure, so the precipitation is not expected to be particularly strong. And you see by Sunday the high pressure builds in and really shrinks or dries out that moisture, and we start getting clearing skies. And then high pressure really builds in with a lot of dry air on Monday, sunshine. But if we look to the right on the ventilation index, the dispersion index, areas in purple start expanding across much of the northern half of the region. That's going to be poor air quality, a lot of stagnation, strong high pressure and downward motion. Also very little in the way of horizontal wind. And that same story continues for Tuesday. So we dry out much of late in the weekend into most of next week. So not expecting any precip from Saturday through Monday, nor Monday through Wednesday, but you see a big storm system approaching the west coast. 7-day totals, most of this will be in the first 3 days, but there is expected to be a change. The 8 to 14-day outlook, this is from January 31st to February 6th, a strong, wet signal for much of the west, especially southern areas, which really need it, the least amount in the north, along with somewhat above normal temperatures in most areas. Really no strong Arctic air to be found. So it'll be a big change, not for next week, but for the week following. This concludes our briefing. Next one coming up this Friday. Have a great day.